Hey everyone, so I already wrote a script for this video and it turned out horrible, so I'm just gonna go off the top of my head for this one. The script basically went like I was going to give some advice like, oh, if you're unemployed, do this and do that, but I really figured out that I'm in no position to be giving advice whatsoever. Instead, I'll take this chance to actually talk about my experience being unemployed as an artist because I figured out that a lot of people are either in my position or are going to be. And honestly, I just want to throw a disclaimer out there. I completely understand that I am extremely lucky to be in this position. I completely understand that many people aren't in this position where they can just basically do nothing all day. Um, but I think that it's very crucial for every artist to at least have some period in their life where they're unemployed maxing, and I'll explain why. Now, my journey of unemployedism didn't wasn't really by choice. I did search for a few jobs, but because I live in such a small place, there's really only like three jobs, two of which involve heavy physical labor for minimum wages beyond your wildest imagination. So I kind of am, and not to even mention the fact that I couldn't even get those jobs. I didn't apply for them, but there was no chance of me actually getting the jobs because there was so much people up, well, so much, but there were so much people more qualified than me, and so there was no chance I'd get that job. There was another job I submitted, also no chance, and so like I said, I'm really lucky, but I'm also in a position where I'm kind of living on a farm, so I'm not exactly doing nothing. But from the perspective of being an artist, I really find it to be such a blessing. But I wanted to say that I find it extremely important that when you're on this journey of not doing anything, that you disconnect from your phone. Because most of us, including myself, will have, and I'm talking about my experience before I was unemployed, but I would have, say, like 2 to 3 days off, whether it was from school or work or something, and I would mostly spend those days brain rotting, bed rotting. Yeah, the brain rot really got to me, but I would spend a lot of my days bed rotting and just kind of making that free time go by, and I find that to be really wasteful. And by wasteful, in comparison, what I don't find wasteful is literally doing nothing, but without your phone. And I find that to be so important for artists because if you look at the life of Michelangelo, Da Vinci, sorry, I keep mentioning Michelangelo in my videos. If you look at the life of Da Vinci, he only painted like what, 15, 20 paintings? The rest was him like literally frolicking in nature and doing nothing, and like literally nothing. And I find that to be so crucial because I can follow my own example where, some days go by and honestly, I don't even do a minute of work. I literally just walk around, um, I don't bed rot, but I walk, I do some manual labor that isn't intensive, but it just kind of gets my mind going. And like I said, it's super important because the ideas you form aren't when you're actually engaging in a work where you're, say, reading or planning a story. The real ideas form when you're actually in the process of doing nothing, when you let your brain kind of relax and go on autopilot. And I find these manual tasks to be extremely important, whether it's washing the dishes or, in my case, doing some farm work. It's also very rewarding to mentally be in a completely clear space because as an artist you really want your mind to go crazy in a way. You really want it to bring out some wild ideas that you've based off of something you've read or experienced, but you really want to amplify those ideas into something beautiful. And I find, like I said, not doing anything to be very important for me, and I would advise others to do the same. Now, I know that at one point I'm going to have to get a job. I'll most likely go to school for art, and so my beautiful journey of unemployedism will probably end. but I honestly wouldn't hesitate at a chance to do it again, because my art, it hasn't necessarily gotten better, but I've been more at peace with what I've created. I've been very much liberated from creating all these ideas, because they just come to me so naturally. And so, although there are days where I like paint 3 or 4 hours, and there are days where I don't even paint 3 or 4 minutes, I still find kind of not the process of not doing anything in your free time very much crucial to actually developing amazing ideas. Now, I'm not saying that you can't develop ideas while having a job and kind of living a more social and intensive life. But if you're an artist, you probably are somewhat of an introvert and enjoy free time alone. And so I really think that, as you know, it would bring a lot of benefit to just kind of let your mind go crazy, kind of delete Instagram and just frolic in the woods, take a walk, do some weird side quests, all in the name of trying to clear your headspace for actual art to come from. Because I'm sick of these influencers telling you how to maximize your productivity and maximize your time. Life's not about maximizing. Life's not about grinding. Look at David Goggins, he's, in all respect to him, but he is very much miserable, he is very much not happy with his life. Otherwise, he wouldn't be running at 4 in the morning every day. Like I said, I respect him, but you're not that guy. And life's too short to be miserable, most likely for no reason. And so, like I said, I will have a job, but if you have a chance to actually take your life and enjoy it, you shouldn't feel regret for not doing anything in that particular moment. Like, there was a day, yeah, I think like 3 days ago, where I literally just sat in nature all day and just let my thoughts go wild. And is it a waste of time? Probably. But in my head, it was amazing. I was just kind of one with nature, kind of just, enjoying the sunny day. And I think that does immeasurable thing for art, because if you look at any really good artist, they spend a lot of time in isolation, a lot of time with their own thoughts. And I'm not going to go on why that's important. You probably already figured it out. But yeah, I think we should kind of normalize unemployment, especially if you can't like get a job, or if you have the chance to be unemployed. You shouldn't be sprinting to find a job, in my opinion, unless you don't have to. Because life's too short to work on a shitty 9 to 5, where you lose most of your life energy and come home drained for like minimum wage. And so honestly, I would give a shot at spending your free time alone as much as possible. It's what works for me. It's what's worked for a lot of people. And it doesn't work for me in the sense that like, oh, I'm super productive and I'm super... No, it works that I am very much satisfied with what I have, which I think a lot of people aren't really satisfied, because we live in a capitalist society where you always kind of want more. And once you get to that part where you got more, you still want even more than that. And so it's really a never-ending cycle. So my advice would really be to just kind of take it day by day, stop the grind, stop the waking up at 5 a.m., cold showers, doing your journalism or journaling or whatever. I'd say just kind of unemploy max, whatever that looks for you, whatever it looks like for you, whether it's, taking a walk in the city, or in my case, doing some farm work, or whatever it is. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Just wanted to share my thoughts. Again, I was kind of rambling in this video, but also didn't have a script for it. So let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you next time.